My name is Dylan. I am Asperger's, dyslexic, blind. I use a wheelchair and I have non-epileptic seizures. I'm a musician and filmmaker, and I have a BA in history. I am also pursuing the rabbinate. The book we are reading today is Tu B'Shvat is Coming, about being excited for Tu B'Shvat, which is the new year for the trees. This book will be read by Margot.
My name is Margot Cole. I'm a biology major at Penn State Harrisburg and I have cerebral palsy. Tu B'Shvat is Coming by Tracy Newman, illustrated by Vivenna Garofoli. Furry animals hide. It's still chilly outside. Tu B'Shvat is coming. Bundle up. We'll ride trikes. We'll explore. We'll take some hikes. Tu B'Shvat is coming. Dig some holes, put in seeds, pull up leftover weeds. Tu B'Shvat is coming. Plant trees, pine, oak, cherry, and some bushes. Blueberry. Tu B'Shvat is coming. Create a bird treat. Watch friends come and eat. Tu B'Shvat is coming. Let's fill up our plates with figs, nuts, and dates. Tu B'Shvat is coming. From big to small, this earth is for all. Tu B'Shvat is coming. Give thanks to the trees, to the flowers, the bees. Tu B'Shvat is coming. Love the earth, dance and cheer. Wish trees Happy New Year. Hooray, Tu B'Shvat is here.
Why should we care about trees and what are the evolutionary implications of trees?
Trees are important because when they, using a process called photosynthesis, they make oxygen for us humans to be able to breathe. Without trees, we would not exist because we wouldn't be able to breathe, and because trees also make a lot of the food that we eat and help to keep our air clean. Trees and animals evolved together to be interdependent on each other. Trees make the carbon Trees need the carbon dioxide we breathe out in order to eat, and we need oxygen from the trees to breathe in. What are the biblical and spiritual origins of trees?
When Hashem created the world in 7 days, he created the heavens and the earth, and on the seventh day he rested. He created trees on the third day. This means in turn that trees are a gift of God's creation. Spiritually, trees have a special presence in Kabbalah. From a Kabbalistic point of view or a Jewish mysticism point of view, there is a balance between negative and positive energy in the universe. It's also interesting to note that the story of creation that includes the creation of trees comes from Bereshit, and Kabbalists connect numbers to letters. So trees were created on the third day. Trees were created on the third day, which is interesting because the because Bereshit, or the book of Genesis, which is the first book of the Torah, Bereshit starts with the letter Bet, which is the second letter of the Hebrew alphabet.
What is Tu B'Shvat?
In Judaism, there are 3 New Years. Each one symbolizes something new. The first month on the Jewish calendar is Nisan, which is the new year of the calendar. The second new year is what we think of Rosh Hashanah, the month of Tishrei on the Jewish calendar, which is actually Rosh Chodesh Tishrei, which is the beginning of the month of Tishrei. You can learn more about Rosh Hashanah on during the book of Jonah reading on this channel. The interesting thing about the month of Nisan being a new year, we normally don't think of it. Not only is the month of Nisan the first month of the Hebrew calendar, but it's also the month of Passover, which is considered to be the new year of the liberation of the Jewish people becoming a nation. Even though the promise of Jewish people becoming a nation was actually promised to Yaakov when he was renamed Israel, or Israel, which translates directly to he who struggles with God. He said that Hashem promised that there would be a nation built in his name. With the world being created in the month of creation, there's the month of Shvat, in which Tu B'Shvat is celebrated on the 15th day. Unlike the two other New Years, Passover is the new year of the Jewish peoplehood, and Rosh Hashanah is the new year of the world being created. Tu B'Shvat does not come from the Torah. It is a minor rabbinic holiday that comes from the rabbi, like Hanukkah and Purim do. If you want to learn more about Hanukkah, check out the Hanukkah playlist on this channel.
What do we do on Tu B'Shvat?
On Tu B'Shvat, there are two main mitzvot we engage in: planting trees and having a food seder. Not to be confused with the Passover Seder or the Sephardic Seder for the Sudas of Rosh Hashanah. Other than these two mitzvot, there is nothing else required for Tu B'Shvat. When I was in Israel, regardless of the level of religious observance, people would buy fruits on Tu B'Shvat, unless, like me, they can't eat fruit for disability reasons. If you have questions about the accessibility of eating fruits on Tu B'Shvat, about eating fruits or the accessibility of Tu B'Shvat, I urge you to contact your local rabbi. Tu B'Shvat on the Gregorian calendar is on January or February in the diaspora. So it means we plant trees in winter, which could put you at risk and make planting trees difficult or impossible. What are the environmental implications of planting trees in winter?
The environmental impact in Israel is different than in a place like the United States. Israel is a desert environment, so you need a cold, wet environment to plant a tree because Israel has a wet season and a dry season, and the dry season is too hot and dry for most plants, especially trees. So Israel plants trees in colder months to increase the chance of the tree surviving. I have never been to Israel, so this is based on my scholarship related to plants in my biology studies. The reason Israel has a different climate than the United States and a different time for planting is because Israel is on a different side of the earth. Earth turns on an axis, so different parts of the world have their planting seasons depending on how much sunlight they get as the earth is turning. What are the 7 species of fruit used in the fruit Seder?
The fruits are dates, pomegranates, olives, and walnuts, and almonds.
Later.
There's no set structure for Tu B'Shvat, unlike a Passover Seder. But if you have questions, ask a local rabbi about a fruit Seder and how to conduct it. Some disabled people, if they eat or even if they're around nuts, they can die. So under Bakuf Nefesh, which is a Jewish principle, we can break any mitzvah to save a life. Therefore, you do not have to eat nuts. Unlike during Passover, where you must have the 4 cups of wine, even if you don't have the wine on any other days. This
And then,
is how a fruit Seder might be conducted, even though there isn't much structure to it. There isn't any structure, but to a fruit Seder, however, the structure of the blessings are the same. And then the fruits that I've already mentioned, you go through each fruit. And then from there, you basically have done a fruit Seder. So this is how you would do a blessing on a fruit for any occasion, and for any occasion, especially during a fruit Seder. We'll be doing it on raisins because it's very loose as to which fruits you can use as long as it's 7 species.
mhm.
And it's kosher parf.
Yes, it is.
Okay. So anytime you make a bracha, a blessing, you do the blessing, then you eat it.
Okay.
So Baruch, there are 2 blessings in particular that we do.
Mhm.
The blessing on the fruit, in this case, and the shekianu, because it's the first time this year we're eating fruit because it's the new year for the fruit. Okay. So, because it's a new year for the tree. Okay, so the blessing is Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu Melech Haolam Barei Pari Ha'etz. Blessed are you, King of the universe, who gave us the fruits. The next blessing is Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu Melech Haolam Asher Kedishanu Mitzvotav V'Tivanu Shekianu L'Kiyavanu Lazman Hazeh. Now you may eat the raisin.
Mhm. And for anybody that doesn't know, a raisin is a dehydrated grape.
But what we would do in a fruit Seder is we would do these same blessings, these same 2 blessings on all 7 species of fruit, and we might even sanctify the Seder at some point with making Kiddush,
Mhm.
or at least doing the blessing on the wine, really. Yeah, making Kiddush
Mhm.
to sanctify the meal of the Seder. But that's all. But to figure out the particulars and how you should conduct it, you should really go to your local rep.
Also, fun science fact, wine is also made from grapes, like raisins are. What is the spiritual significance of planting trees, especially on Tu B'Shvat?
In the book of Deuteronomy, the Levites are commanded to work the land as farmers. Hashem created the world with the understanding that we would be stewards of this world. Not only are we stewards of this world, as we plan on the Jubilee year, based on the cycle of agriculture, we live 1/3 of the fruits of our crop, 1/3 of our crops to the poor that we can't harvest. When I was being bar mitzvahed, I had a tree planted in my yard, and the idea was that Jerusalem needed more trees. The Kabbalistic concept of Tikkun Olam is based on the idea of mending the world through doing the mitzvah, like planting trees on Tu B'Shvat. The more we make our more beautiful, the more Hashem's light shines on the world. So we should be grateful for the trees and all they do for us.
What is the legacy of Tu B'Shvat on American history and the history of Western civilization?
Earth Day was established in 1970, which in many ways is Western civilization's answer to Tu B'Shvat, because Western civilization is based on Judeo-Christian values. So Earth Day is based on Tu B'Shvat. Over the years, environmental consciousness has been an important part of everyday life, and how we treat our animals, trees, and plants, and overall well-being. Trees and animals have a lasting impact on the world and could have died at any time, like during the Great Flood, but were saved by Noah.